Hello, this is Marcia from Oils and Wellness with Marcia, and I'm continuing in the book Ula, Finding Balance in an Unbalanced World. And today I'm going to be reading from Kris Amdahl, Amdahl, and here's what her title is Finding the Strength to Walk Through It All. And it's a little bit longer than yesterday, so let's see how it goes. Okay? Sunday mornings is especially sweet. When you are 15, it doesn't get much better than letting the dim winter sun wake you up through the curtains, glancing at the clock, then rolling over in heavy quilts because you realize it's the weekend and you can sleep in. However, this Sunday is different. I woke up to my mom sitting in the corner of my bed. This wasn't unusual. I usually required an extra nudge or two to get me out of my comfy quilt cocoon and up for church. What was different were her eyes. Although she tried her best to hide it, they were puffy. It looked as if she had aged 10 years overnight. As she sat there, all she could do was cry. The only words she could get out were, "It's Mike." Our family was big, active, and going to 1,000 miles an hour in 8 different directions. I had 2 sisters and 3 brothers. Mike was 15 months older than me. Like most siblings, our relationship consisted of an interesting mix of love and irritation. Like everybody else, right? It seemed like we were either fighting or making up. The night before we were fighting, Mike wanted $5 from me, and I didn't want to give it to him. It ended with me shouting, "No way," slamming a door and storming away. This wasn't uncommon. What made it hurt was that I quickly realized those were the last 2 words to him. My last 2 words to him. He was drinking, he was driving, and he died. And in an instant, our family changed. In an instant, I changed. My 15-year-old brain couldn't process what had happened. Everyone in my family was so busy dealing with their own grief that they lost track of mine. I was numb. It is said, time heals. And looking back, it does, but slowly. Winter turned to spring. My numbness transitioned to anger. I wasn't mad at Mike because he went to a party. I was mad at Mike because he went to a party. I couldn't believe he would drink and drive. I was mad at myself for not giving him $5. But mostly I was mad at God. How could he let this happen? Before this, I prayed, not as a connection or relationship with God, but as a matter of routine. Most of this obligation are just something we did as a family, like brushing your teeth or taking off your muddy shoes before entering the house. We said grace at dinner, prayed before bed, and we rarely missed church on Sunday as a family. I believed in church, but church was something we did until this morning. It was not much more. I know now what my 15-year-old brain did not know when I found out my brother died on that cold February morning in Minnesota. When experiencing a great loss, there our phases. It's as if I followed the textbook but quit in the last chapter. My emotions seemed to change for the season, from anger to questions, and questions to sadness. And then I got stuck. How can I accept that this was God's plan for Mike's life? I spent a year there in sadness, learning how to accept condolences, hopping on the school bus without him, his 17th birthday, and the first Christmas without his energy and bright smile. As my adolescent brain processed very adult problems, I finally came to acceptance, and it happened from a simple prayer. I remember the day I drove to his grave site. Although I realized he wasn't there, it was the only thing I could think of to feel close to him. I was physically fatigued from denial, anger, questions, and ongoing sadness. My fatigue opened me to the concept that life will deliver things I will never fully understand. I prayed in a way that I had never done before. Instead of words like those I would recite, but not understanding at church every Sunday, I offered my heart. I chose to believe, even in what I didn't understand, and submitted. God took over, I voiced. I didn't ask him to take over. I begged him to take over. I surrendered my life to him and his plan. As the tears rolled, the weight lifted. The numbness was gone, and I could feel again. I could look forward again. I could let go. Although the prayer was simple and the relief was real, my decision to submit my life to God and His plan felt under constant attack by this crazy thing called life. It would be challenged when I had kids of my own. When I was in the third trimester, undergoing an emergency appendectomy, and being told that my daughter would have a 50% chance of surviving the procedure. God, take over. I would be challenged through the process and international adoption. When holding her picture and not being able to bring her home for 9 months and missing her first birthday. God, take over. It would be challenged in my 26-year marriage to Nordgroove through seasons of better and worse, richer and poorer, and in sickness and in health. God, take over. With each test, God stepped up, not always with the outcome I wanted in my life, but for what He wanted for my life. And it is His path for my life that I have committed to follow. And this gives me incredible peace. Gives my life incredible peace. Life is beautiful. Life is difficult. And life is everything in between. I know how I didn't have to understand it all, but I could walk through it all with faith. When we're driving down the road to the ULA bus, we talk about all the amazing things that have happened since the original ULA book was released. We often find ourselves in the topic of food, music, cool ULA tattoos, and pop up on social media, and believe it or not, faith. It interests us. We want to believe that in sharing ULA with the world, we are serving God's purpose for our lives and not our own. We love hearing the many different ways of simple ULA message that transformed lives and families. But we have a special place in our heart for the people to have faith for the first time, to give it another shot after being angry with God. Like a fingerprint, everyone's faith walk is different. But we have found 3 ways to help you to grow this of ULA. Number 1, don't wait. Find the path that resonates in your life. Take time now to reconnect to a church, a religious group, or a meditation practice. We're Christians, yes, but you be you. Find a message that resonates with you. Then lean into the new and renewed walk with God so that it's a regular part of your life. We recommend finding a structured way, ideally the house of worship or a small group, where you can connect with others who think like you and who can support you when life gets rough. Be open-minded. Attend at least 3 times before you decide, yeah, this is a place for me, or it isn't. Number 2, plug in and live your faith daily. Although our journey will find clarity in reading the Bible, where there always seem to find new insights to explain what's going on in our lives in the world, and learn that our responses should be. Daily meditation can also help you get closer to God, as well as it gets clear on what you should be doing in specific situations. New research says meditation also improves brain function, mood, creativity, and may even counteract losses of brain volume as we age. Hundreds of books and audio meditations exist to help you create a daily meditation habit. Be an even better way to stay connected to God daily is to pray, even if it's prayer of gratitude, a brief plea for help, or a quick 5-minute high five about something good that has just happened. The kind of connection starts with a relationship with God that's less formal, more connected. Find a friend that you'll call on with good news or bad. Pray with your kids too, at meal times or before you sleep at night. Be proactive with the faith every day. Don't just show up at church on Sunday for 60 minutes or of sermons and sing-alongs with the band. Faith has a challenge in the Ula seeker while working his way up from the bottom. He wanted to control everything about his comeback. The pace, the timing, the magnitude. Over time, he came to realize that no matter how hard he pushed, it was ultimately God's timing. While initially this resulted in frustration, over time it was developed into peace. Work hard, listen to his voice, pray, and keep moving forward. And number 3, serve others. Be part of something bigger than yourself for finding a place to give, volunteer, or make a difference with no expectations of anything in return. Some people do it with money, others contribute time and abilities. While the Ula Guru is happy to buy plywood and shingles, it's not in his wheelhouse, biceps, to build houses in Africa. Actually, he's pretty sure he doesn't know the difference between plywood and shingles. The Ula seeker, on the other hand, would love to do mission trips. He loves to move stuff around, put it together, and watch the immediate positive impact of his efforts, using your natural skills sets to benefit others. Although another way to give is to practice simple kindness. As you go through your day, be proactively kind to one another, something you call random acts of Ula. Whether it's opening your door for a stranger, buying coffee for a person behind you in line, listening to someone who's hurting, or just making eye contact. Put a smile on your face and be pleasant to those you meet. But never do good or give or volunteer out of guilt. When the Ula seeker was struggling, the Ula Guru told him, when you give, make sure it's for selfless, feels good, and that's something you decided from your heart. Great advice. And that's all I have for you today. The next day I'm going to be starting chapter 8. And it's going to be about friends. Ula friends, the next F. So, I'll see you tomorrow. If you have any questions, if I give you anything worthwhile today, please let me know in the comments. And I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Ta-ta for now.